I want to focus on marketing, kind of give you all my tips and secrets and everything that I've learned from a lot of people and everything that I have used to scale my businesses.
I know that you obviously have to get attention, clearly, because if nobody knows who you are, then how can you do business?
I was driving one day, I was stayed up, I did some cocaine, and I was just going the wrong route. And then this day, I got in an accident. I hit a car and the cops came. This would have been my 4th DUI. And I didn't get it. And that was the moment that I just said, fuck all these bad mistakes and hanging around with bad people. I gotta change this. And that day I stopped and my life just started getting better every single day, every single year.
I always tell people I work harder. I yet have to find a person in the room with me, he disagrees, that works harder than me. I am always working, I'm always thinking 24/7.
Hey guys, welcome to Driven Couples. Today we want to, revisit marketing, and a lot of people call me a marketing genius, and I don't consider myself a marketing genius. People maybe say that or think that. I consider myself a well-rounded businessman, business guy. I have 5 different companies, all started from scratch, and business is more than just marketing. It's a lot of sales, it's a lot of training, it's a lot of systems, operations. You got to learn taxes, you got to learn credit in order to scale it. So there's a lot of things that come to business, and marketing is probably what everybody sees on Instagram, and probably the number one thing that got me to where I am today. But today I want to focus on marketing, kind of give you all my tips and secrets and everything that I've learned from a lot of people and everything that I have used to scale my businesses. But happy to have you here, Sil.
Hi.
What's cracking?
Nothing, cheers. We're drinking tea.
I'm a little under the weather. I just have the sniffles, but I'm drinking some vitamins, and that's gonna make me feel better. But
You'll be better.
But talk a little bit about marketing, sale, before we get into the questions and answering questions. Anybody that asks a question is gonna get $100. I just love giving, and why do you guys think I'm wearing this shirt? You guys think I'm a big Dodger fan? I'm wearing this shirt because this creates emotion. When you guys see me, like I had some idiot when I was doing a live, and this idiot's like, oh, he just wears his Mexico jersey because he wants to get the attention of all these Hispanics and the Mexicans, and I'm like, you're right. So that idiot was actually right. So when you wear a Mexico jersey, a flag, Dodgers, everybody in LA loves the Dodgers, and there's a lot of Dodger fans everywhere, all over the world actually.
Yeah.
So when you wear a jersey like this, I'm not a Dodger fan. I don't look. If I watch a Dodger game, I'll fall asleep. So if I want to go to sleep, I'll put on the Dodger game. I'll fall asleep. I like the hot dogs and the beer. And all that, having a good time. But I'm not a big baseball fan. I like basketball. I like soccer. I like football. I like boxing. But I know that this is important. So every time, just so you know, every time I do a live and I have a Dodger jersey or I have my Mexico jersey, the sales just multiply because it just connects that emotional connection. And sales asking me like, why are you wearing that jersey? And I'm like, she's like, it doesn't look that good on you. And I'm like, it doesn't matter how good it looks at me. It's how much attention it's gonna get. Mm-hmm. But having said that, Sil, really happy to have you here once again.
Okay. I'm here every time, but yes.
What's a few marketing tips that you could give people, or things that maybe you've seen other people use?
Well, I know that you obviously have to get attention, clearly, because if nobody knows who you are, then how can you do business? Whatever your industry is, whatever it is that you do for a living, you have to be the best at it, and you have to be able to get attention. And you don't even have to be the best. If you're the best, then you'll be able to double down on the business, because customer service is key in any business. But people knowing what you do is key. At least in our world, how many realtors, you're hanging out with your family and they're like, oh, I just bought a house. And you're like, what? It's crazy, right? So the more people that know what you do, the more business you're going to get. So that's important, key actually. And then there's all kinds of other marketing things that you could do depending on your business. You know, these days you could advertise anywhere, social media, everywhere. Everybody's always on social media. Having the right image, brand standard is important. So it's a lot of different factors. And for a personal brand, you know, it's also important for people to know who you are and what you do. So like Alpha Slice.
Yeah, and speaking about Alpha Slice, I want to give you guys my number one, like the best investment I made is not real estate. My number one tip for marketing, Jesus, anyway, if you give me some ice, please. So my number one biggest investment has not been real estate, has not been a business. It's been a red Ferrari 458, 2011, with 8,500 miles that I put $39,000 down, and my payment was $2,100 a month. That was the single best investment I have ever made in my life. I love Ferraris so much. Like I just love a Ferrari. Actually, we've never had sex in the Ferrari.
Yeah, we have.
We have?
Yeah.
Was I blacked out or something?
No, I think that was the Rolls. Was it at the Ferrari? No, yeah, we have.
We got to do that. That's a great idea. But going back to what we're talking about, the Ferrari was the single best investment I have ever made because the Ferrari got me attention. And this is, look, watch, I'll tell you something. I'll be quick. One day I'm in the office. Willie comes over. And then Willie's
Escobar.
Willie Escobar. Everybody knows who Willie is. So Willie comes over and Willie tells me, "Hey Albert, you're doing good this month. And I'm doing really good. He had a great idea. He says, let's go check out the cars. And then I have a great idea too. And I tell him, what if we go and get a bottle of champagne and then go watch the cars? And then he's like, yeah, that's a great idea. So he comes down and then we pick up the bottle, come back to the office, and he has one glass, I have one glass, and then we're on to our second glass, and then Willie's like, let's go look at the Bentleys. And I'm like, that's a great idea, Willie. Let's go look at him for.
Were you guys looking for inspiration?
Yeah, because he wanted to do it because he wanted us to get inspired. So I'm like, let's go look at him. Then we end up Aston Martin. Then we jump to Lamborghini. And then I tell Willie, and then when you go to Lamborghini and when you go to Aston Martin and these places, they give you drinks because they want to get you buzzed so that you buy the cars. So I get there and they give us a drink at Bentley. They give us a drink at Aston Martin. We end up Lamborghini. We're like 4 or 5 drinks into it. And then I have a great idea. I tell Willie, let's go look at the Ferraris because the Ferrari was always my dream car. When I saw it the first time, I was painting with my dad. My dad used to take me with him to paint. And I just was like his assistant. I was painting and I saw the red Ferrari. The first time I saw it was there. I saw the mansions and I started thinking big. And we go look at the Ferraris, and then we get to Beverly Hills Ferrari, and then this guy, Philip, comes and greets us and he's like, hey, which car are you interested on? How can I help you? And I'm like, why is this guy helping me? Like I'm young, I'm broke. I'm not a celebrity. I'm not wealthy. Like I can't even afford a Ferrari right now. And
you thought you could.
And I go there, and then he starts showing me the cars. He says, this is the California. This is the 458. 488's gonna come out next year. You could pre-order it. And he's not even asking me anything about like, do you even qualify? He treated me like a celebrity. And then I tell him, well, you know what, Philip? Honestly, I don't even qualify. I don't even know why I'm here. I'm kind of buzzed. And my wife's pregnant. I just started my business, and my business is barely, I'm in the survival stage. And I don't know, but I saw this video by Tai Lopez. And Tai Lopez, for those of you that don't know him, he's a really cool dude. A little awkward, super cool dude. I met him in person. And I remember this video he did. I'm here in my garage with my Lamborghini, but most important, knowledge. Right behind him, he shows the books. And I'm like, this is a good idea. What if I do this for real estate and for mortgage? I'm going to get more recruits. People are going to want to join the company because they're going to be like, if I join the company, I drive a Ferrari. And then I started thinking, what about all these big influencers that I want to get mentored by? I'm going to get their attention because they're going to see me, young Mexican guy driving a Ferrari. Maybe this guy's onto something big. Maybe this guy is worth 20 million instead of 2 million. And I'm there and I'm thinking, no, but Sale's pregnant. I can't do that. So I text you. I don't know if you remember that text, but I text you and I told you, hey, I'm here in Ferrari, Beverly Hills. And you know what? They just asked me for $5,000. They're going to run my credit and just kind of guide me so that I could buy it in 5 years from now. So 5 years from now, I'll buy my dream car. They're just gonna, look at the details, and they'll keep my 5 grand. It's a deposit, and then later on, when I'm ready, they'll count it as part of the down payment, and I'll just put the difference. Long story short, I don't qualify. They're asking me for too much money, and my payment's gonna be this. A week later, Philip calls me and he's like, I got great news, Albert. $39,000 down payment, and your payment's gonna be $2,100 a month. And I'm like, I have 39 grand. And then, but Syl's pregnant. No, it's, you know what? Maybe it's not the best idea. And she was pregnant. She was gonna have Italia,
Yeah.
which was named after that car, 458 Italia. So I'm thinking, okay, well, I didn't listen to Syl. I just went in there, and I got the car. I get the car, and I said, wait a minute, those are all my reserves. I didn't have much more than 39 grand, and I have the mortgage guy, which before it became the mortgage guys, and I'm like, my reserves. What if something goes wrong and I can't pay it? What if something goes wrong with our newborn and I don't have any more money? Just like I do everything, I take big risks, and I take the big risk, and I get the Ferrari. We name our daughter Italia, and now we're happily living here in Beverly Hills and enjoying a nice life. And it all started because this car made me appear bigger than I really was. I was making $2 million a year back then, but I was spending $2 million. So I was breaking even, I was surviving. And every time we had a problem, I had to sell one of my real estate properties, one of my apartments, to survive. And I was just going and grinding and going and grinding. And then one day, this Ferrari made me appear like a Goliath. When I got it, this Ferrari, for example, the 2 million that I was making, it made it seem like I was making 20 million to other people. And they're like, Albert's killing it. But I wasn't killing it. I just drove a Ferrari, used, very used. And they thought, well, maybe if I do join Albert's company, I will drive a Ferrari. So now, like, everybody in the company, not everybody, but we have quite a few that are driving Lambos, Ferraris, and a lot of other nice exotic cars. And that's how it all started. That was my innovative campaign. This is how I'm going to separate from all the other brokers, and I'm going to appear bigger than I really am. But it worked. And if I would have been single, maybe it would have worked like with the wrong things, But
Yeah.
But I'm very loyal guy to my wife, and yeah.
As you should be.
So what do you think about the Ferrari?
I mean, a lot of people wouldn't agree, but also remember there are things that are gonna move you from one place to another. In our case, it worked out great, but what Albert isn't telling you guys is that we used to work 24/7. From the minute we woke up till we literally went to sleep, because we had no kids. I was pregnant, but, it wasn't a kid that was already needing attention outside of your body, which is totally different. And work, you can't substitute hard work, because what would have happened if we were like, oh, just relaxing and not going full force? Like, I like to remind him, always working, making money, being very focused as far as like, what is the goal for today? Where are we going? And work always taking priority. I see a lot of people, too many people. They want everything, but they forget that the main thing is hard work. You have to work hard. You have to keep your mind where your money is. You have to make sure. Very few people are like Albert as far as taking risks and putting everything on the line to get a certain result, reward, outcome. Very few people will put everything they have on the line, and he's one of those people. I'm the type of person that I'll do like 50-50. And that's why him and I are such a good match together. Aside from both of our work ethic is like none other. I always tell people I work harder. I yet have to find a person in the room with me, he disagrees, that works harder than me. I am always working. I'm always thinking 24/7. And obviously he does as well, and we have different roles, but work ethic, you can't replace that. And a lot of people, unfortunately, as much as they would love to be entrepreneurs, whatever you might want to call that, however much money an entrepreneur has or what stage of the career they are in, you cannot replace work ethic, because people that are successful entrepreneurs have something that other people want to have, but they just simply don't. And unless you're very well aware of it and you push yourself to your limits every single day, it's never really going to fully work out. meaning that you'll get by, but how do you keep scaling? How do you keep growing? How do you make more money year after year, regardless of if you make 2 million and you break even, but that still takes you to levels, you know, money, risks, rewards. Higher the risk, bigger the reward.
Yeah, almost got it right. So yeah, guys, everything I agree with, except, I mean, she doesn't
I
work harder than me
you.
at all.
Yes, I
She,
do.
I mean, first of all, you can't work harder than somebody that sleeps less.
You could actually.
You
I
can't.
need my sleep.
Because, exactly.
6 hours to 8 hours is not a lot of hours. I need
I
that
mean,
much
I sleep 5 hours. You sleep like 10.
Stupid.
So like there's just no way. Like, no way. So before we jump into questions, I have the Driven Business Bootcamp workbook. Okay, so this is a Driven Business Bootcamp 2 workbook. Everybody that attends, not everybody, executives and founders get this booklet. And this has, like I put all my heart into this. I wrote like bunch of strategies and new things that I've learned. I'm a different Albert than the bootcamp one. Like this bootcamp two, I'm a way different Albert. Just go back a year and just look at my stuff. It's day and night. So I just put all my heart into this. Everything new that I learned to get to this level now is in this workbook, from marketing, from systems, from operations, taxes, and just some bunch of other things. And most importantly, marketing. Like, marketing is huge, but like I still said, you can't market and be lazy, and you can't market and not know how to sell.
You gotta follow
Because
through.
it doesn't matter. Imagine if instead of Steph, I had fuck, I know so many people that I don't want to say a name that somebody's, but you pick a name.
One.
No, but okay, I had.
One's generally.
Maria.
All right.
Maria.
Maria. Okay, so let's say instead of Steph, I have Maria, and I'm getting all this attention and all these people and my Driven in Spanish channel, and now I don't spend any money on ads, and I'm getting all these people to follow me, and they're all interested. If I have Maria instead of Steph selling, I might not get the same results, because Maria's not gonna have the same work ethic, follow up, and remember that Steph. She like smiles and kind of like gives me her back when I say this. But remember that Steph is mentored by me every single day. Today she was asking me, like, when do I get a coaching session? I'm like, you get coached by me every single day for 8 hours minimum. So this girl, I have turned her into a sales machine. So if you guys want to get an idea of how good I am in sales, people skills, like, I got some good sales skills right here in this booklet. So if you want to get this booklet, once again, this is going to be the Driven Business Bootcamp 2 workbook, and it's going to go to all the founders and executives. If you have the associate's ticket, it doesn't come with this book. And just want to put it out there, if we are we sold out already? Like, we're just this event was going to be a 200-person event, guys. We're already like at 400, and we got to close the doors at 400. So I think we have a few more to 400, and we just can't surpass that. The first weekend, we were already at 200. All the founders sold out like that. So we want to keep it exclusive. I don't want to, knowing me, I'll probably be like, oh, let's go to 500.
No way.
But
We're not gonna let you.
they already banned me from
Yeah.
thinking bigger, even though it sounds stupid. But I have to keep it at 400. Most importantly, because I want to keep it exclusive. I don't want it to be too many people and like crowded, and I just want to keep everything comfortable, exclusive, and quality air for everybody that's wants to breathe quality air. So having said that, if you're watching it on Instagram and you want to keep watching this, you want the Zoom link, text that number right there. We're gonna save it. Make sure you save the text, the cell phone, so they could text it, and you'll get the private link. I want to jump into questions, and I could tell you stories for days, but see you guys on Instagram.
Bye.
I want to answer questions from my people, because I do this, Sil, because I want to help. I make so much money doing a lot of other things.
I do this because I want to help too.
I don't do this for money or to sell anything or nothing. It's my way of giving back, answering your questions, giving you $100 for your question, and this is giving. This is my way to give. When I do my lives on Instagram, I want to give. I want to share information for free. And if I missed any of your questions or whatever, just send me a DM on Instagram and I'll answer all my DMs. So thank you guys, and let's jump into a question. We have a question, and then I'll add on whatever I think that is relatable. I'll add it onto it.
First question, Luis Erazo.
Luis
Erazo.
Herazo.
Albert and Sil, nice to see you guys.
Hey.
Thank you guys for doing this. Appreciate it.
Nice to see you,
My
bro.
question is starting from scratch to start basically on social media. What do you think are three important key points that I should be doing to get followers and gain exposure?
Brother, copy somebody that's doing it right. Like I said, I'm not here to sell you anything, but my Driven Academy is really good at $67 a month. You could learn everything you have to learn from there. But if you don't want to do that, go through my YouTube, go through my Instagram, follow Alpha Slice. He drives a Lambo and a Ferrari. He didn't drive a Lambo or a Ferrari before he met me. He had the money to get it, but I gave him that idea. Hey, why don't you do this? Because it'll give you more credibility. He did it. He added his own twist, and this guy's killing that. You've probably seen him on Instagram or on social media, right? You follow Alpha Slice? You follow him?
Yes.
There you go. He has a big audience.
But let me add to that. I think it depends where you are, what you do for a living.
He asked me for 3 things, so I was going through the first thing.
Oh, well, that was like 5 things. Okay.
Yeah, well, because
Go.
I'm giving more value.
But also, babe, it depends. Not everybody could just buy a Lambo or a Ferrari. So let's start
I'm
where
saying
you are.
that's where Alpha Slice is, and that's where I am. I didn't start with a Ferrari.
Yeah.
I started with a Maserati. I started with an Audi A6 pre-owned under my dad's credit because my credit sucked. So like there's key things that are really important with marketing. In the beginning, I was spending money on ads, and I started spending $5 a post, $10 a post,
Yeah.
$20 a post. Then I got to $100 a post. Then I got up to even $1,000 a post. And she would say like, why are you
What the
spending
hell are you
$1,000
doing?
on this? And I'm like, trust me, that if I spend 20 grand, this month or 30, even if we make 30 in sales, we broke even, and who cares? At least I gained more followers that are real. And I started doing that, and then, I made mistakes, trial and error. And then I got to a point where now I don't spend money on ads, not even a penny. But guess why? Because in the beginning of last year, they hacked my Facebook account, so I wasn't allowed to run ads. So I had to figure it out. Okay, so how do I get creative and get attention now without running ads? Fortunately, my account had already grown enough, so I was already, I wasn't verified yet, but it was bigger, and that helped me a lot. But in the beginning, spend $2 on an ad. Target people that are gonna be, that's gonna be your audience. For example, me. I used to target this 10X man, and I used to target his audience because it's a similar audience, and I could convert all of them to my audience, to Driven. And then people saw, well, wait a minute, this guy is older and he's white. Albert is younger and he's Mexican and he's Hispanic, just like me. I want to follow Albert instead of this other guy. And then I started getting followers because the ads were just showing to people that followed that influencer.
Yeah.
Then I started targeting another influencer. But you don't have to start with X amount. Start where you're at. So if you have $5 you could spend a day, spend $5 a day, and it's going to start growing your audience. And then also attention. How do you get attention? You're not going to get attention by there's certain pictures that get you attention. So for example, like, yes, I understand Alpha Slice, Mo, his name is Mo actually. He could take pictures with his Ferrari and smile. I would smile too if I had a Ferrari. And then people are like,
You
wow,
have to.
if I become a nurse like Alpha Slice, I drive a Ferrari. If I become a mortgage guy like Albert, I drive a Ferrari. So it's not like that in the beginning, obviously. Before that, Alpha Slice drove a minivan. He'll tell you. And then it made a huge difference. But also there's a lot of different ways to get attention. If like the Kardashians used an acid.
Is that 2 or 3? Are you done with your third
And,
one? 'Cause I have
and,
3
and,
easy
and,
ones.
and go ahead.
So 3 easy ones as far as my perspective goes. Looking your best, whatever that is. depending on your audience, right? Looking your best, being the best version of yourself. And a lot of the times we all know what we have to do. We all know we have to eat healthier. We have to look better. When you look your best, you also ooze a different type of confidence, if that makes sense. You're more confident in yourself and your ability, right? So that's one. Providing value to people. Why do people want to look at your account? Why would they want to follow you? So I think providing value is huge. And just having a good page in general. So many people post so many craziness, and you have to stay consistent. And like him, I remember one day, do you remember you told me, he's like, I'm going to have more followers than you. And I had like 1,000 at the time. And I just thought it was funny because I didn't even do it for followers at all, because I love photography has always been one of my passions.
With your body.
Well, I've always taken care of myself. Even when I was pregnant, I want to make sure that I don't let myself off the hook like a lot of people do, especially as time goes by and as life kind of happens to you.
If I was single, I would follow your page.
So, important. It's just important. It doesn't matter if you're pregnant or if you're maybe not at your ideal weight or your fitness goals, but how do you get there? And consistency is what's lacking. Like people right now are using COVID as an excuse. I'm like, no, that's an excuse. It's an excuse. It doesn't mean eat more, eat a whole box of Oreos. Like it just makes, you have to take care of yourself, even more so now that gyms are closed. How do you do a home workout? How do you pivot? So, you either have excuses or results, and that's it. You feel a little fluffy. Like I felt,
You mean fat, not fluffy.
Like 2 months ago.
It's not fluffy.
I felt a little fluffy because I've never been fat.
What's fluffy?
I'll never allow myself that because the way you do one thing, babe, no. You have to, if you can't control what you eat, imagine how do you control and build your life? I always think about that. Like if I can't sit here and say, Sil, you're not going to drink 3 times a week, and there's events and I just want to drink all the time. No, like how do you control that?
Well, babe, use as an example, Alpha Slice. Did you know that?
Oh my God, Alpha, you look so good.
He's like
different guy. No, really, I was looking at your page and I was like, God damn, I'm sure your wife is happy.
Well, that's why she's pregnant again.
Oh my God. So anyway, I don't care what people say, and don't let people, like I said, if you're happy being whatever your body type is, it's okay. Just make sure that you're really happy and you're not just giving yourself the comfort to be like, oh, like if you're really happy, cool. Whatever that looks like. It shouldn't be to anybody else's standards but your own. But I'll tell you what, when you exercise, when you eat better, not only do you get sick less, but you just feel better. Like, that's why I don't get people that like, okay, you're working from home, so get up and look like crap all day. It makes no sense to me. Because I like to get up and I like to get ready for my day. Whatever my day is. Yes, like Sunday, took a shower, got ready. I still did my makeup. Like, I'm not going to look like crap. And put my leggings on, and I had a nice, like a little blouse on, and I was comfy. I was happy. Like, I want my husband to look at me and be like, damn, that's my wife. I never want to let myself go. And I've made that such a point because I've always looked good. When I had $20 in my bank account, when I can barely afford gas, because you don't need to be rich to put effort into the way that you look, and I feel like so many people are just like, oh, and I keep saying I feel like, but it's not that I feel like, it's that I know because I talk to some of these people and I'm like, you can't come in the office looking like that. I'm sorry, not in my world, not in my office, not in my company. If you don't take pride in the way that you look, that's what's going to come out.
And also, brother, to add this, to close this one, on my Driven Academy, I have a segment where I teach people how I post and when to post. Like, there's a few things. Like, first of all, like, always in the morning, make a post. Yeah. Because that's when people are going to see it. 7 in the morning is perfect. And then post later in the day, like in the evening. 6, 7 p.m. is perfect because that's when people are out of work. And then if you want to post more, post at lunch when people are having their lunch break so they see it. And what do you post? You can't post, let's say you're a real estate agent. You can't post you're a real estate agent every single post. Yeah. Real estate, I just sold another house. I just sold another house. I just got another listing. I just got another listing. I just made another sale. It's boring.
Yeah.
Like just sold, just listed, just sold, just listed. Who cares? Nobody's gonna watch that. But when you post one of those, okay, I listed, okay, fine. You do real estate, cool. Then you post, you know, I was put on. I say this a lot. I use this as an example. Look, this happened to me when I was 25. I was driving one day. I was stayed up. I did some cocaine, and I was just going the wrong route. And then this day, I got in an accident. I hit a car, and the cops came. This would have been my fourth DUI, and I didn't get it. And that was the moment that I just said, "Fuck all these bad mistakes and hanging around with bad people. I got to change this." And that day I stopped, and my life just started getting better every single day, every single year. And then you just give the details of how you did that. How did you change your life? And then people see that and they relate to it. And they're like, "Wait a minute, I can
He
relate
can
to this
do
dude.
it. Yeah.
Like I'm where this dude was at." And then you do another post, and you do like maybe do a what is it, throwback Thursday, where you're showing like when you were a kid. All the stuff that creates emotion is going to get people's attention, and then it's going to allow them to see, wait a minute, he does real estate. And now you're going to move them to your real estate. And then once you start winning and you start getting victories, then start showing people, look, I just got a new watch, I got a new car, but it took me X, Y, and Z to get there. And then people start liking you. And then you start noticing, wait a minute, you start studying analytics. Oh, most of my followers are millennials, and most of them are male, and most of them are from this city, and then from this city. And then you start doing it. That's why we started doing Driven channel in Spanish, because we know that a lot of our audience are Latinos. So there's so much more, guys, but hopefully this helps. And thank you, brother.
Appreciate it.
Thank you.
De
De
nada.
nada.
Next question, Fabian Velasquez.
Fabian Velasquez.
Where is he?
Unmuted, but he's talking, but he has to.
Oh, you're mute.
You're mute. You have to unmute yourself.
Here we go. You know,
Oh, there we go.
I just wanted to ask you. I know you just got back with Bobby Castro. What did you learn now that you're back? Now, what are you going to implement in your business for 2021?
You know a lot of things. There's like even things that I can't talk about that are kind of private, because we're doing things together. He's gonna be a big part of my life for forever. I'm gonna be back there actually next week for his event that he's having, and then 2 weeks from then he's gonna come to my event. And we met 2 days straight. I stayed at his house. We were like tight brothers. We woke up together, went to the gym together, took tequila together, drank tequila together, went to dinner together, went to sleep together. I was just there with his house. I met his dog, got really close to his dog. It was just amazing. And having people like that in your life. And like I said, we have things that we're going to do together that you guys will find out later. But the biggest thing that I learned from him was probably putting myself on a budget. I've never been into budgets, but he said, Albert, now that you're doing 5 million net income, just an example, which is pretty close, 5 million net income. Okay, not gross, net. Like you guys know that our company broke 20 million in revenue, 5 million more or less. Margins are 23%. So, and I'm giving you guys real data. Like this is things that maybe people won't like to share, but I like sharing because I think being real and having no filters helps you guys more. So he said, Albert, if you're earning 5 million net, don't spend the 5 million net on lifestyle and on personal stuff. Have you ever considered, Albert, paying yourself maybe $1 million salary a year, and then the 4,000 net, that just goes to your business. It stays with your business and you use it to grow and expand. And I said, I never thought about that, Bobby, but I'm ready to do it. If you're telling me that and you build a company to $1 billion, we're going to do the same here, and we're going to do it faster, and you're going to help me. And then he tells me, okay, well, I'm going to do that. I'm all in. And Bobby said, well, it doesn't have to be necessarily $1 million salary, Albert. It could be 1.2 million. Maybe it could be less. Who knows? So I'm doing that, and I told Bobby, this isn't it's not even hard for me. I'm actually excited to be on the budget now and pay myself this amount and that's it. If I want to buy still her ring, then it's probably going to take me like quite a few months of eating beans and tortillas to be able to save for that ring. But before it was just like, oh, you want a 5.5 carat ring? Okay, I'll go buy it. I'll buy myself a new watch too, and maybe I'll go get another thing. And so that's like, why are you doing that? But now I have everything. I have all the watches, all the cars. We live in a $10 million home. We just hired a CFO. Our company is I don't need to spend any more money. It's kind of like now in a humble way, I'll say it. Now I kind of made it. I don't have to show anything anymore. Now I just have to keep getting better intellectually and build a company to $1 billion. And then from $1 billion, then we'll figure out how to get to 100 billion. You got to think bigger all the time. And then we'll figure out how to get to 1 trillion and be the first Mexican trillionaire. But before we get there, now let's start strategy. Now you got to pay yourself this and everything stays with the company. Now we start, scaling up. And that's probably the best thing I learned from him, because I'm really in a position now that I don't have to show off. I already have everything that I need and more. Now it's time to create a legacy. And that's what I'm doing. And there's so many more things, but I think that was the biggest takeaway, that now it's going to be about budgets. Before I didn't believe in budgets. Now I'm in a different stage in life, and now I do believe in budgets.
Well, I think budget, I guess if you want to call it, it's basically not going above your means, because that's what happens here a lot in the US. People, and there's been studies on this, if a household makes an extra $2,000 a year, let's say, like just average, they'll find a way to spend an extra $2,000, which is crazy, and people, I always give this advice. I'm like, okay, if you make this much money, because I've been there, when I had to do commissions and whatever, like I sold real estate, and sometimes you sell 5 houses, sometimes you sell 2, sometimes 20, it just depends. So you have to know, as far as what is your overhead, how much money are you using for what, and how much is going to be put aside, because humans, we normally pay everybody else before we pay ourselves, so that was one thing that I'm just great at. So I get that. And you can do a lot with less, especially if it's already something that you have to do. And Albert was so excited. He's calling me from Miami, and he's like, babe, like, I did this, and I'm doing this with Bobby, and he told me this and this and that. He literally, like, there's already like 15 different things that we're completely implementing, which is insane. And that's a great quality, that if you don't have this quality, who do you want to be like? Who do you want to be in life? Where are you now? Where do you need to go? Creating revenue, of course, is the first goal. Working extra, doing whatever, especially when you don't have kids. You could be married, but you don't have kids. You don't have, who cares if you have to work Monday through Sunday? I just feel you should never limit yourself, nor let that mindset kind of get in the way, because people naturally want to be lazy and lay on a couch. But why do that now when later on, if you're trying to build a family, it's just different for everybody, but just be smart. Use common sense goes a very long way, which unfortunately is not very common these days. And it's unfortunate, because a little common sense can help you get to way, way further places. Like Albert, he's always been like that. He's always looking for the biggest fish in the room. Like, he'll attach himself to that person no matter what, and a lot of people, we are all scared of rejection. Let's be honest. Nobody wants to be rejected. But hey, and if you want to go find the person, he's always looking for the biggest fish in every single room, and he will be right there. And that's a huge quality of his. And he doesn't care if you shut him down 10 times. He'll come another 11, 12 until he gets what he wants, basically.
Wow. Well, that's great. Thank you for information. I just wanted to add right there, Albert. I see that you really appreciated Bobby when the interview you guys were having. You guys shake hands. That's awesome that you have that relationship with him, and both of you guys, feel that way against each other.
Yeah. You know what? You always have to remain. You have to, first of all, treat everybody with respect. Like everybody that works for us, everybody that from like the highest upper level executive member in the company to our gardener, or housekeeper.
Everyone.
You always have to treat everybody with respect, and you also always have to remain humble for new information, for people that have more experience and are more successful than you. As long as you always do that, and you focus on giving, helping people, you're never gonna lose. You're gonna make so much money from a bunch of different sources that you have no idea. You remain ethical, you have nothing to worry about. You're not cheating, you're not lying, you don't know anybody any money, you pay everybody, you're respectful. You know, it's all ethical. Being ethical, and most importantly, always remain humble for new information. So there's always going to be somebody that's going to have some information that you need, and that's what I follow all the time. I'm always like that, and you could learn from everybody. So just never lose that, and you're gonna have unlimited potential, brother.
All right. Thank you, Albert, Seal. Thank you very much.
Thank
You're
you,
welcome.
Thank you.
Next question, Leanne Montaz.
Leanne Montas.
Hey guys.
How are you?
All right. I'm good. How about you guys? All
Good.
right. So Steph said earlier, the bigger the risk, the higher the risk, the bigger the reward. I want to know, how do you guys know when a risk you're taking is worth it? Like, what tells you? Like, what do you guys have, like, this instinct, or what type of method do you guys use to know if this risk is worth it, or if it's just a stupid risk that you're taking?
You want to answer or you want me to answer?
Well, again, common sense would go a long way in that case, but also remember that it's like, what is the goal? Like, what's the worst that can happen? Do you already have a no? There's different indicators, I would personally say, and I've said this before in previous videos. Me, myself, personally, I trust my gut instinct. I trust my ability to look at a picture and say, okay, if I do this, if I do that, if I do this, if I do that, and then it builds confidence. So you become over time better and better at making decisions. You know, it's okay to mess up as long as you learn from it. But it's just going to depend, like, if it's like you're going to put all your money on the line, that you'll lose everything, or you're going to make $1 million per se. It just depends, you know, so that's kind of individual. You just kind of have to analyze the full picture and say, okay, this risk is worth taking or it's not. You know, if it's going to take your life, possibly, then it's probably not a good risk to take, because that's one thing. Your life is precious. Health is like very important, obviously.
Well, I'm a little crazier, so I'll put my life on the line.
You're not allowed. We have kids now.
But you go with your gut. That's a good one. Go with your gut. But most importantly, like, to answer this question, it's having mentors. When you have mentors, and the more information you have, the better risks you're gonna take.
That's right.
And when you're
Hey.
when you're new, and you see what I talked about, marketing, the emotional connection. So when you have more information, you're gonna make better risks. Now,
Exactly.
I am at a level where I just know what risks to take and which ones not to take, because of all the information, experience, and that I've gotten from my mentors. Like, I started by paying mentors a lot of money.
Yeah.
Over $4 million that I've spent. I mean, just think about it. We've had 5 driven and boot camps. Each of those events was at least $500,000. All that is considered self-improvement. And then I paid up, because I paid speakers to speak. Then whenever I hire them to speak, I make sure that I got them to do a podcast with me, a private coaching session, and I added other things. And then I invested in their best seats. Like, I sat in the front, I went to their masterminds, and then they invited me to their home. I'm very good with people skills. I could make anybody my friend. So I got a bunch of information, and then I got to a point now where Bobby, that sold the company for $1 billion, has $400 million of real estate with all his money. He doesn't raise money from anybody. It's all his money. He owns all of that. This guy has I don't know, $300 million cash in the bank. And now this guy, Bobby, wants to be my friend. He doesn't charge me for my friendship. I don't have to pay him he'll pick up my call, my FaceTime anytime. Yeah. I have this guy, my friend Rob Luna. He also sold a company for a lot of millions of dollars. And this guy has a lot of millions of dollars in the bank, cash. And this guy is very, very wealthy and smart. He's my friend for free. So now where I'm going is now people want to be my friend. Now people want to pay me for information. But the more information you have, the better risks you're going to take. So it's very important to build your circle of influence that's going to be here, and you're going to get so much value. Like I got so much value when we were at the boat. I went to Miami. Oh, and guess what? My other friend that's also a multimillionaire, Roman, he lent me his boat. He's like, "Oh, you're in Miami, fucker? Take my boat out." His boat's $1 million. So he's like, "Why don't you take my boat out and just tip the captain and take it out?" So we go there, we take the boat out, and I'm there talking, and I learned so much from Jomar was there, Alpha Slice was there, and I learned a few things. And I'm like, dude, that makes a lot of sense. Let me go home and implement that. And I'm sure all of the guys got a lot of value. And now we're back, and now you implement. But information, the more information you get, the better risks you're gonna take, the better decisions you're gonna make.
That's right. 100%. It feels good to have successful friends too, and the smarter your friends are, the better places you'll end up.
Not to mention, you get dropped off at the airport in the Lambo.
You guys were actually speeding to the airport, which is so funny. I almost thought you weren't going to make it back.
I tried. Steph,
Does that answer your
Is it
question?
good?
Yep.
Yeah, thank you so much.
You're welcome.
Thank you.
Then Sue.
Ala Denzu.
Yes, good evening. It's Ala Danko from Hillsboro, Oregon. Hi.
Hi.
I have a question for someone who is starting out as a real estate broker. How do you stand out from everyone else with much more experience and other unique, smart ways to market yourself?
You're a real estate agent or broker?
Broker in Oregon.
Same thing.
Yes, I'm a registered nurse, and then I got my real estate license, so I'm doing real estate as well.
Can you brighten up the screen, please?
Well, you have to, for
Start.
one, make sure that customer service, remember people, these days it's about the person, and you really have to really truly care about the person that you're servicing. That will show in a lot of different things as far as keeping your commitments to phone calls, building that relationship, because real estate is not hard and it's also a service. So you have to make sure that you stand out,
That's the answer.
on top of anybody else that might be with a bigger company or might have more experience with you. But also never tell people that you just started in real estate. You kind of just keep that private and make sure you do a great job, because now you have to make up for being new with your actual service that you're providing, making sure you're thorough, diligent, you're not missing contingency periods, inspections, different things like that. If a client is happy with you, they'll be your client forever. And that's why, for example, us, Ambiance Realty, it's service for a lifetime, because when you have a client once, they will never go anywhere, and I would always ask for the opportunity, and I made sure that I was the best, that I actually truly cared about them. Obviously, we do real estate to make money, but it's important to know that money is like the byproduct of the service you're providing, and you're being able to provide homes for these people where they're starting their life, or they're downsizing, or they're investing. Like, it's a huge part of somebody's life, So knowing that and being very, very, very mindful of that, and understanding that it is a privilege to be a real estate agent. It is a privilege to be a loan originator, because you can make a lot of money if you're a good person, if you're ethical, if you don't screw people, and if you have a great attitude, work ethic, you'll be set, Make sure you let everybody know what you do everywhere you go. Be friendly. Be like, here's my card, DM people. Make sure everybody in your phone book, like, hey, you can text everybody your business card. And just do a good job, A lot of new people, sometimes they kind of drop the ball a lot. And I'm like, no. Like, there's no excuse for that. It's not rocket science. And create a little timeline where you can make sure you're hitting those key points of the transaction.
And you know what? I think this was a perfect one for you to tune in. Marketing, I think that's what got your attention. So my answer to your question is you gotta get attention. The more attention you get, you're going to stand out because it's not always the best product. It's never the best product. It's never the most experienced person. It's never the person with the best information. It's whoever gets the most attention. McDonald's, not the best burgers, but they're the best burgers at getting attention. The Coca-Cola is not the best drink, but it's the best drink at getting attention. One guy that's in part of our real estate company, he's also like just like you, an agent in real estate. His name is Jacob. He's over there at top left, and maybe it's not your top left, but it's Jacob.
Hey, that thing's
Jacob right
turning
there.
off.
Just wave. So Jacob,
Computer.
it's getting dark. Jacob is doing a great job at getting attention. We were having a conversation because he's one of our youngest agents, and he already made the top performers mastermind a couple times, and in his early career. And he was asking me questions. Like, he's smart. He listens. See, I can notice he's taking notes and listening. He heard right now. Sil said, find the biggest fish in the pond and just be there. Because one thing that I always tell everybody, when you go to a room and there's 50, 100 people, there's going to be maybe 2 or 3 people that you want to talk to. Everybody else,
Exactly.
ignore them. There's 2 or 3 or maybe one person you want to be stuck to them like a bubble gum. And you stick there. Jacob, he wouldn't leave me. He was just like following me. Then I would turn around and he would get in front of me. And he just kept on asking me. I went to the restroom and he was waiting for me outside of the restroom with another question. So Jacob, he's asking me like, okay, Albert, so what should I post? And I tell him, well, do this, do that, do this. And I notice him now. He's consistent with his stories, always showing stories about what he's doing, why working out is important, why family is important, that he's over there going to church and doing this, doing that, and then he self-improvement time. And remember, people like that because people like real people. Like, nobody is perfect. When people try to be perfect on camera and then they turn off the camera and then they're their real selves, to me that's fake.
Yeah.
And people are interested seeing me running around with my dog, popping champagne corks in the pool, and just being real. Like, I'm being real. And Jacob's been posting things on his Instagram. Check out his page. And this guy, no wonder he's doing good. And I think he's 23. Are you 23?
I'm 25, but
25.
I wanted to ask a question because with what you guys talked about the founder, I watched it recently. You reposted my story. Too many people think too small, right? And my takeaways were persistence and having vision. What sets you apart and how do you instill that into your company?
Yeah, Jacob, let me take that question right after. Are we good with the answer?
Thank you so much. Thank you. I appreciate it.
Thank you, Jacob.
Thank you.
We have one more person before you, and then we'll close with you. Cool? All right.
Yeah, sounds good.
Ruben Vasquez.
Hi, Albert and Sil. How you guys doing today?
Hi, good. How are you?
Very good, brother.
Hey, Albert, so quick question. Since we're talking about marketing, what marketing do you find the most effective? Is social media, you would think? Because nowadays everybody's on social media.
It's social media, 99%. Technology, which is, they're both the same. Like, all social media is technology. All you need is a smartphone. Like, if you don't have a smartphone, you got a dumb phone. So you gotta get a smartphone and use it. Like, when I see people that don't have an iPhone, and I'm like, what are you doing? Like, you need a smartphone. You could do everything from here.
Yeah.
And Instagram, Facebook, YouTube, and now when you get into the specifics, well, you gotta think about what's my business, what's my industry, what's my audience, who do I want to target, because they're all different. You're gonna get different people on YouTube than you will on Facebook,
That's
than
right.
you will on Instagram, and you gotta find what is giving me the best ROI, and then go after them and just double, triple down. But remember, in the beginning, when nobody knows you, it doesn't matter how good you are. It doesn't matter how good looking Miss Universe is if nobody knows her, if she's like hiding in somewhere in a different continent. So you got to get known. Like, why do you think that, yeah, but this is kind of, I'm going to be
Off
funny,
topic.
but like when a girl goes out, or a guy, and they constantly go out, eventually they'll get better at it because they're practicing and they're putting a lot of consistency into going out. Thursday, Friday, Saturday. One day somebody's gonna get drunk and they're gonna go home with them. That's the same thing with social media. You got to keep posting, 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 and when you get no likes, when you get no comments, and when you go on lives and you have nobody viewing it, and you're feeling like you're talking to yourself, I've been there. I've been there. You know what I used to do? I used to go on the live. Before I did the live, I used to drink, make myself a drink.
Steph was his number one fan.
And then I would make myself a drink, and then I would be like, okay, yeah, I feel good, man. I have some confidence now.
Yeah.
I'm not a great speaker. I don't know what I'm gonna say on this Facebook live, and I'm like, so you know what? Let me just make one more drink, and then now I would get on the Facebook live, and I would have like 3 viewers. Steph was one of them. And I was there on the live, and I was like telling people, guys, I got my 3-unit property, and it already went up this much, and I just cashed out, and I got some money, and then we bought another one. And then I was horrible. I wouldn't listen to it ever again. That was one of my rules because I was so bad. And then one day, I started getting messages. I loved your live, man. You're so inspirational. I can't believe that a Mexican could buy 3 units. And I'm like, damn, that's cool. Like I didn't expect that you were gonna like my content. And then it started growing and growing. But remember, when you're getting started, it's gonna take some time. It took me 2 years to really get good engagement with my social media.
Yeah.
And then it took me since 2013. Before that I started just doing social media. It took me 7-8 years to get to where I am today. And now, I'll tell you what, right now, bro, my social media is growing on autopilot on steroids without running any ads. Like every time I want to run an ad, I'm like, fuck, I just made another 10 G's. I'm like, I'm going to run some ads. Because Brad Lee, my friend, he always tells me, you got to run ads, man. You got to run it. Like Alpha Slice was getting on me because you got to run ads. You could get more than what you have. And I'm about to run an ad and boom, make another 20 G's. And I'm like, well, I mean, what do I do? I don't want to run an ad because what if that messes up my algorithm? So there's a lot of different tools though, because I could run ads on YouTube. If that's not working, maybe I go back and run ads on Facebook, maybe run ads on Instagram, and you just play around and see what works. If something stops working, stop running ads there, run ads here. But in the beginning, you do have to run ads because nobody knows you. You got to get known first, pay the price, and you don't have to spend what Albert's spending or what Alpha Slice is spending. Go spend and start where you're at. If you have $20 a week to spend, boost all your posts by $2 and start there. And remember that once you start growing, collaborations are really important.
Yeah.
Right now, Alpha, he's doing a lot of collaborations. I see Jomar, he's doing a lot of collaborations, doing podcasts. Because when you do a podcast, then you start getting followers from the other person. A very big podcast that I did was with Salamondrin. I did a podcast with him. It has over 500,000 views, and it's growing. And because of that, now my Driven channel in Spanish is blowing up. And then I'm getting more followers from Instagram. And then these people, remember, they might be from like Latin America, Colombia, Peru, Mexico. So these people, they don't have a lot of money because you don't make a lot of money over there like in the US. But if you have a cheaper product, they'll buy that. So a lot of these people are signing up to my Driven Academy, online virtual training, and because it's more affordable. And that's where they start. So you got to start where you're at, brother, but hopefully it answered your question.
Also, don't get discouraged. A lot of people get discouraged very, very easily. Like he said, my role was I'm not going to go back and listen to myself, sound like an idiot.
Yeah.
So whatever's going to stop you, just don't. Kind of like avoid it, X out, keep moving forward.
Yeah, because I mean, I'm like a low key type of guy, and so I don't like to post my personal business on social media. But I mean, I guess nowadays it's like
you have to. You kind of have
showing
to.
off on media, showing this, showing that, and I have a couple of things where I could technically show off and try to show it off, but I just don't feel like I have to. But I guess in order to promote my business, I guess maybe I have to. I don't know.
You have to, brother. Like Kim Kardashian didn't get a butt like that to not show it off, and that's what made her rich. And she did it so good.
You know what, Albert? I'm gonna get a Ferrari because that Ferrari you got, that's the one I want, dude. And I already set it in place. A year and a half. I guarantee I'm gonna have that fucking Ferrari, dude.
Go for it, brother. You know my boy Willie. He got a Bentley, and he's getting a Ferrari and he's getting a Ferrari in 6 months. So he's gonna have the
Oh,
Ferrari
no.
and the Bentley.
That's the way to go, dude.
And guess what?
We're gonna have to go cruising, bro.
Dude, anytime. Are you here from? Are you local?
Yeah, I'm out in the IE.
Oh, perfect.
Nice.
Dude, we'll get together one of these days.
All right, brother.
Awesome. Appreciate you.
Ask me my question, bro.
My pleasure.
All right, bye.
All right,
Okay,
Jacob.
Jacob.
We're gonna wrap it up
Hey,
with
what's
you,
up, guys?
man.
How are you?
Good.
All right, so on that top producers meeting, you mentioned the founder. So I made sure to watch it over the weekend. The two takeaways I had from that movie were persistence and vision. So for you guys, how do you guys raise awareness for people that don't dream big enough?
Bro, you have to re-enroll them every day. So like in the beginning, our office is now super strong. It's like
Yeah.
our office, we have strong people in our office, but in the beginning, I would remember because we had everybody starts, at the bottom, and I didn't have loan officers like Patty or Andy or Willie, or I didn't have staff like Steph, like Liz, like Tony.
Yeah.
I had people that were average loan officers. Freddie's right there. He remembers a few of them. And these guys were just horrible, man. Like hopefully they're watching this because maybe I'll wake them up. But these guys were horrible. They couldn't close a screen door if their life depended on it. And they were just so average. And I would spend hours with them. And I would tell them, like, look, this is how you do it. This is how you make $1 million being a loan officer. This is how you close a loan a month to start. And these guys just, next day, they would ask me the same question again. Next day, same question. And I had like this dude that would get there early and leave late. He never funded one loan, and like never. And finally, like it was just bad. And to not get into all the details, because I'm probably gonna, you're gonna be laughing all night, but you don't have that problem. And now I don't have to do that. But in the beginning, you have to re-enroll everybody to your vision daily.
Yeah.
You have to remember, this is the vision, this is where we're going, this is what we're going to do. Because remember that most people are average. Now we built a company, a culture, core values that we have where we only let the top
Good
people come in.
Yep.
And now we're letting new people in, but they have to fit our culture, and they have to understand our core values. If not, we can't take those people. Because imagine you hanging around with one of our old guys. You're gonna talk to them, and
You'll be like,
it's gonna drag you down. You're gonna be like,
Yeah.
Albert, what are you doing? Kick this guy out. This guy has no hope. And so now, like, we just don't take people with no hope. Some people just don't have hope. They're not coachable. That's huge. You're coachable. So right now, every time we have our top performers meeting, that's why it's important, because the top performers meeting, you have to earn the right to be there, because you're gonna be around powerful people. Powerful people don't like to hang out with average people.
Nope.
Now, if you're average and you haven't made it to the top performers, well, work harder, be coachable, and then you'll be there. And then once you get there, you're never gonna want to go away.
Yeah. Cool?
Awesome, thank you.
You're welcome.
Thank you, brother. I'll send you $100.
Okay, I think that's it, guys. So, remember, don't give up. Make it happen. Work harder than everybody in the room. Most importantly, surround yourself by good people, because nothing will drag you down or destroy your dreams faster than negative, unethical, miserable people that blame their problems on everybody else.
And if your wife has dumb friends, or if your husband has dumb friends, get rid of them. I made her get rid of a lot of dumb friends.
No, he didn't make me. I was finally
I
ready
made you,
to
yeah.
do it.
Well, you did it.
Yeah,
so,
I did.
So I was right.
And
They
look
were
at our life.
dumb,
Look
right?
at our life.
They were dumb.
I mean, they just weren't what I was aspiring to be, but anyway.
Exactly.
Mwah.
Love you guys. See you next week.
Bye.